Last week, I sat down with the man who just put the first humanoid robot to work on a live British construction site. His name is Mark Buckle, and he's the technical director at one of the biggest contractors in the country, and he's just spent the price of a work van on a robot that does the job of a junior site engineer. Now, while Elon Musk is promising you 1 million Optimus units a year and Figure's CEO is telling you humanoids will be doing your housework by Christmas, Mark's robot is already on a site in Britain doing real work. And what he told me about where this is actually all heading was not what I expected. My guess is that you've already seen the videos. Every other week, there's a new one, like Boston Dynamics' Atlas doing parkour, then synchronized backflips like an Olympic gymnast that doesn't get tired. Figures, robots in a kitchen somewhere, putting away the shopping in cooperation with each other like a couple sharing chores. Tesla's Optimus walking through a Hollywood crowd, pouring drinks, playing rock, paper, scissors with celebrities. And the money behind these companies is frankly insane. Figure is now worth $39 billion. Tesla wants to ship millions of humanoid robots every year, and Goldman Sachs has the whole market hitting $38 billion by 2035. So if you've been watching all of this go past on your feed, you'd be forgiven for thinking the future has already arrived. But here's the thing nobody really tells you. Almost none of these robots are actually doing a job anywhere today. In fact, they're just doing demos, showcases, and investor presentations, all except for one. So this is Douglas. He's about the size of a child and weighs roughly 32 kilos, and he was built in China by a company called Unitree. He walks on 2 legs, he climbs on stairs, he opens doors, and for the last 10 weeks, he's been showing up to work on a Tilbury Douglas construction site. Now, off the shelf, a Unitree humanoid like Douglas costs about the same as a small van, roughly £15,000, but the off-the-shelf version can really only do 2 things: walk around and shake hands. To turn it into a robot that's actually useful on a building site, Tilbury Douglas had to give him a brain. So they bolted an NVIDIA AI computer onto his back like a backpack. The Unitree handles the legs, the NVIDIA handles thinking. And together, what they let Douglas do is see the world in 3 dimensions using LiDAR, recognize the objects and the people around him, avoid them, and capture the same imagery from the exact same coordinates every single day, so AI can compare day on day and tell you what's changed. But honestly, the simplest way to understand what Douglas is actually doing on that site is to hear it from the guy who put him there himself.
The primary role of Douglas is to be the eyes of our site teams and how we can get vision into our AI of real-time environments. We started off looking, as with any good piece of technology, we looked at what do we want to solve? And we tied it down with, we're not trying to replace somebody, because AI and computing will not change context, won't change the skill set of a seasoned bricklayer or a seasoned, that's not where we're heading. We don't believe we'll be heading there for quite a few years yet. So we looked at 3 areas, which was progress reviews, so update the progress and update the program. We then looked at the quality and overlaying his vision onto the BIM model, and to see whether things are installed in the right place. And as a consequence of his vision and his photogrammetry is, why don't we get him to identify any health and safety issues on his walk around as well, trailing leads or an area that needs a bit of attention. So not to replace our guys in health and safety, because I'm a true believer that computers shouldn't do health and safety. It is purely to supplement their health and safety walk rounds.
So that's the work. Program tracking, quality checks against the digital model, and spotting health and safety hazards. The kind of clipboard and camera work that before Douglas turned up was eating up to 2 hours of site engineers' day, every day. And hearing all of that, you might be sitting there thinking, well, this is it then. The future has arrived. A walking, talking robot doing real work on a real building site in Britain right now. So why isn't every contractor doing this? Why isn't Atlas digging the foundations of the next Hinkley Point? Why isn't Optimus laying brick on a London tower block? Well, here's why. Because most of what you've been watching on the internet isn't quite what it looks like. Take Tesla, October 2024. Elon Musk holds an event called We Robot. 50 Optimus robots walking through a Hollywood crowd, serving drinks, having little chats with the guests. The internet absolutely loses its mind. Tesla stock spikes 2 days later, Bloomberg confirms that every single one of those robots was being puppeted in real time by a human being in a motion capture suit somewhere off stage. The tech reviewer MKBHD, who'd been at the event, came out and said, "Look, this is either the single greatest robotics demo we've ever seen, or it's mostly remote operated by a human, and there's no in between." Tesla's stock dropped 9% the next day. A few weeks after that, a Russian humanoid called Aldar walked out onto stage during its grand reveal and face planted to the Rocky theme. So look, the point isn't that humanoid robots are fake, they are real. The point is that the gap between a viral demo and a real working day is much wider than the marketing wants you to know. And once you start looking, the limits become really obvious really fast. Let's start with battery life. Unitree's flagship H1, the bigger brother of Douglas, runs for about an hour in real operation. Apptronic's Apollo, which is the robot that's currently working at Mercedes, gets around 4 hours. Figures marketing claims 5, although independent reviewers say it's closer to 2. A UK construction shift is 8 to 10 hours, so what you're actually looking at with most of these robots is a worker who needs his lunch break before you even finished your morning coffee. Then there's dexterity. The human hand has 27 degrees of freedom and around 17,000 touch receptors. The most advanced humanoid hand on the market today, the latest Tesla Optimus, has about 22 degrees of freedom and basically no meaningful touch sensing at all. When Time magazine went to visit Figure last October to photograph their new flagship robot, the robot dropped a piece of clothing twice in a row before the third attempt finally worked. And then there's weather. Almost no major humanoid robot is rated for outdoor use. When a Chinese company called Deep Robotics announced last year that their robot was the first humanoid in the world to be properly rated for rain and dust, that was the headline. The first one out of dozens of all companies, all of them claiming the future is here. Most of these robots had never been outdoors. Building sites, funnily enough, are outdoors, which is exactly why Douglas, for now, doesn't work at night, doesn't work alone, and stays inside. So if the demos are this exaggerated, then limits are this obvious, why on earth would a major UK contractor put one of these things on a live site at all? When I asked Mark how the workforce reacted when Douglas first turned up, he didn't talk about robots, he talked about lifts.
The initial reaction when we take him onto site is everybody wants a selfie with him. The initial reaction, and that's it. We do explain to the sites, our supply chain and the people on site that we do demonstrate same as open space. We blur people out. It's not a spyware. It's not there to replace our site managers. It's there to support. It is very similar to walking around with a camera on your helmet. There's very little difference. It's just he does it automatically every day. We do want him to be able to communicate with the workforce. I think some are generally worried about it, but if I look back in history, when lifts and elevators were first invented, people wouldn't go in with them without somebody operating them.
Yeah.
So it's no different. And nowadays we just walk in and we just get in the lift, press the button.
That right there is the actual story of automation in construction. It's not Skynet, it's not robot apocalypse. It's a guy explaining to his foreman that the new robot isn't there to take anybody's job, in the same way that 100 years ago somebody had to explain to people why they should step inside a metal box and trust that it would carry them up the side of a building. But there is a real reason a major contractor would spend that kind of money, and it has nothing to do with the hype reel. It comes down to two numbers. The first one is 251,000. That's the number of extra construction workers the UK industry needs by 2028. And that is not a guess, by the way. That's the official figure from the Construction Industry Training Board. The second number is 24, as in 24% of the workforce is already over 55, which is nearly double what it was at the turn of the century. So half the people who currently know how to do this job are getting close to retirement, and there aren't anywhere near enough young people coming in behind them to fill the gap. So when Mark talks about Douglas, what he's actually talking about isn't replacing builders. He's talking about doing the maths on a labour shortage that nobody has figured out how to solve. And when I pushed him on what Douglas actually changes day to day, his answer wasn't really about productivity, it was about people.
The idea is to be more productive, have a better home-life balance, get the thing. I mean, the more and more burden we have changes in burdens every day. You know, clients are asking for more reporting, you know, digital. Now we're in the digital age. They're asking for particularly live reporting. They're asking, we've got the increase of regulations. We've got the actual burden on somebody on site now compared to 10 years ago is incredibly different. So it is very much a tool, and it's a tool to just take those repetitive tasks away and let us focus on being amazing builders.
So look, here's what I came away with. The viral humanoid robot videos you're seeing online are mostly theatre. The actual robot working in Britain right now isn't doing parkour. He's not folding laundry. He's walking around a building site taking photos, flagging defects, and apparently every single person on site wants a selfie with him. That isn't a Skynet moment, it's a building site getting itself a new pair of eyes. But it's also the same price as a van, and it's already changing what a junior site engineer's day looks like. So the next time you see a $39 billion humanoid company demo on your feed, just ask yourself one question. Is this Douglas, or is this a magic trick? If you enjoyed this video and you want to see similar videos, please subscribe. I'm Owen Drury, and this is Bricks and Bytes.